Alright, let's take a look at dividing polynomials. We're going to look at two different types of dividing polynomials. The first one is where we have a polynomial, in this case a couple trinomials, and dividing it by a monomial, meaning there's one term like that. And our second thing we're going to look at is dividing a polynomial by a binomial. Okay, so let's start at the top here. And when we have a polynomial, any polynomial, it could be 5 terms, it could be 2 terms, any of those, and we're dividing by a monomial, what we're going to do is divide each piece by that monomial. So what I'm going to have here is 40 y to the 5th, and we're going to divide that by the 4y squared, then plus 24 y to the 3rd over 4y squared, then minus 20y squared over 4y squared. Okay, so I divided each piece by that 4y squared. Then I'm going to go ahead and simplify. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. Then my variable part, I have 5 y's there being multiplied, 2 there, so I have 3 left over on top when I simplify. So remember, we just subtract those exponents to get that. Okay, then 24 divided by 4 would be 6. And again, simplifying those exponents, 3 minus 2 is 1. There's going to be 1 left over on top. And then here we have negative 20 divided by 4. It's going to give us negative 5. We've got y squared on top, y squared on the bottom. Those will cancel out. So this thing divided by that gives us that trinomial right there. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. Similar situation, and I'm going to start by dividing each piece by that negative 2x squared. Negative 2x squared, then minus 7x over negative 2x squared, and then plus 16 over negative 2x squared. Okay, then again I simplify. So that's going to give me 12 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. And I've got x squared on top, x squared on the bottom. Those all cancel out. Okay, then here I've got negative 7 divided by negative 2. Well, the negative divided by the negative is going to make that positive. Then, if you notice, we've got 2 x's being multiplied on the bottom, 1 on the top. So when I simplify that, I'm going to be left with 1 on the bottom. Okay? Then this one, I've got 16 divided by negative 2. It's going to be minus 8. And that's going to be over, well, notice the x squared's on the bottom. There's none on top. So they're all going to be left over on the bottom here, like so. Okay? So there's that one. Alright, now let's take a look at what happens when we are dividing by a binomial. Okay, for a binomial, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to factor the trinomial, and we should see this thing that we're dividing by sitting in there. If it's not, then it's not going to work out evenly in our division, and we'd have to go to another method like long division. Well, let's try factoring this and seeing what we get. Let's see, to factor this, I'm looking for factors of 45 that add up to 14. Well, I think that would be 9 and 5. Okay, so then how that's going to break up, our signs are plus and plus, because this is plus and that's plus. First term is going to be k and k, because that's how we get k squared. And then remember, it doesn't matter which order we put them in, 5 and 9. Okay, then we put that over k plus 9, and notice we've got a k plus 9 there, a k plus 9 there, gone, and we're left with our answer of k plus 5. Now, let's just step back for a second and look at an example with a number that we might be a little bit more familiar with. Let's say we have something like this. We want 15 divided by 5. Okay, well, 15 would break up, I could break it down to its factors of 3 times 5, and that's over 5. Notice what happens. The 5's cancel out, and we're left with the 3, which is our quotient. Okay, so the same kind of thing happened here. We took that trinomial, broke it up, and then it simplified. That means it divided evenly, and then we're left with our quotient. Okay, then let's try this last one here. And again, we're going to look to factor this particular trinomial. So we take, when we have the coefficient of the x squared term larger than 1, we can use the bottoms up or ABC method to factor that. So 4 times negative 42 gives us negative 168. And I'm going to break that into, I want factors of negative 168 that are going to add together to be 17. Well, let's see. They got to get me negative 168 to add together to get 17. Well, if I do 24 and 7 and then make this 7 negative, they would multiply to get negative 168, and we could add them together to get 17. Okay, perfect. Just what I'm looking for. Then I'm going to divide each of those terms by 4. So over 4, over 4. Then simplify those. Okay, so this one right here is going to simplify to 6 over 1. And this one, well, we can't simplify anything, so that is what it is. Okay, then we read those from the bottoms up to get the factored form. So first one is going to be 1t, or just t, plus 6. Second one is going to be 4t, and then minus 7. Okay, remember, you can always FOIL that back if you don't believe my factoring. I think you'll get there. Then we put that all over the t plus 6 that we're dividing by, and notice what we've got. We've got a t plus 6 there, t plus 6 there, so that means our answer, sitting right there, our quotient, is 4t minus 7. Okay, so dividing polynomials. If we're dividing a polynomial by a monomial, meaning one term like this, we're just going to divide each piece by that monomial and simplify. Be on the lookout of situations where you have more of the variables on the bottom and you end up with a variable on the bottom. Sometimes people just get in the habit of leaving them on top, and that's an easy place to slip up. Then, if we're dividing a polynomial by a binomial, what we can do is factor and look for things that are going to cancel out top and bottom, and whatever's sitting there left, that's going to be your quotient. Hope this video was helpful. Keep working hard on your math. You can do it.